the 8 newly appointed economic advisors that President Tinubu just, recently put them in place to supervise, perhaps formulate economic policies in those areas. So just a quick one to look at what exactly we are bringing in on board. So just a quick one as we take a look at their profile now. First, of course, is Mr. Wale Edom, who is a special advisor, monetary policy. You take a look at him, the profile there. Can he deliver on the job? That's the big question. But let's quickly take a look at Wale Edom, who is a seasoned economist with background in public finance, merchant banking and corporate finance at both national and international levels. Mr. Edom, who holds a bachelor's degree in economics from the University of London and a master's degree in economics from the University of Sussex, England, was Lagos State Commissioner for Finance from 1999 to 2007. That is, having worked with the president himself when he was the Lagos State governor back then from 1999 and 2007. He also served as the head of Treasury and deputy head of corporate finance at Chase Merchant Bank, and he was in charge of the bank's treasury and money market activities. So he co-founded Stanbic IBTC PLC and also founded Deham Management Limited as well. He is currently the chairperson or the chair of Chapel Hindem Hand Group, a leading independent investment banking, securities trading and investment management. So Waledo is a special advisor on monetary policy. Well, perhaps this is one of the things that people have said, well, he got it right with Waledo, who is going to bring formulate policies or chair that ministry, perhaps that segment in his cabinet that will oversee monetary policies and policies around the supply of money and anything that has to do with monitoring of the financial sector. I think perhaps a lot of people say he got it right. But let's quickly look at Dele Alake. If you look at Dele Alake, for instance, he's a special advisor, special duties, communication, and strategy. So then, who is Dele Alake? You may want to ask. He's a veteran journalist and a former commissioner for information and strategy in Lagos State from 1999 to 2007. He was also the communication advisor and a confidant of Moshood Abiola, a presumed winner of the June 12, 1993 presidential election. He was once the editor of Sunday Concord as well as senior sub-editor of the Lagos State Broadcasting Corporation before moving up to set up Lagos Television. You can see Wale, I beg your pardon, Dele Alake, you can see he's also very qualified as well, having been there with President Tinubu right from when he was the Lagos State governor in 1999 to 2007. So there you have it for Waledo. Is it the right person? Well, I think in the coming days, as to profile some of these, the senior advisors, perhaps we'll be able to get to know more, perhaps talk to them on the program here. But this, of course, is one person that a lot of people have said that President Tinubu got it right. But in the coming days, of course, quite a lot of challenges to be addressed. Economic challenges, specifically with how the government is going to communicate with the people, is one issue that we also need to look at. But let's quickly look at the next person here. If you look at the next person, Yahaya Darazo. Yahaya Darazo is a special advisor, political and intergovernmental affairs. Does it have it? Now, is it qualified for the position? Big question here. Let's look at the profile of Yahaya Darazo in a moment, who hails from Darazo local government in Bauchi, is a Nigerian politician and was a senior special advisor on special issues to former President Muhammadu Buhari. He was one of the supporters who defended Tinubu after the latest outburst in Abeokuta, Ogun, during the lead up to the APC presidential primary in 2000. I beg your pardon, in 2022 there. And so there you have it there for Yahaya Darazo. It was in you can say it was with President Muhammadu Buhari, right? And so you can say he has already the experience to hit the ground running specifically with advising the President Tinubu on political matters and intergovernmental affairs as well. But let's take a look at the next person. John Ugochukwu John Ugochukwu Wajumogo is Special Advisor, Industry, Trade and Investment. And let's quickly take a look at the profile for you. He's an expert in energy and infrastructure with master's degree in international affairs from the Fletcher School at Tufts University in US. He's also a partner, strategy and transactions at Ernst & Young, a British multinational accounting firm. He has over 20 years of advisory experience, primarily in the energy industry, and has worked with the Grand starting from 2012 to 2016, and of course PwC, PricewaterhouseCoopers in 2009 to 2012, respectively, as the director. So that's for John Ugochukwu, who is going to be heading industry, trade and investment, talking about advisor in that in that category. But of course, we want to see the list of the ministers who fill this position. Of course, we expect different ministers to come in the coming days. That, of course, is one thing that we'll keep our eyes on it and see who exactly fits into that office. And of course, in collaboration with these advisors, perhaps we'll be able to. But let's quickly look at the next person, number 50 here. Nuhu Ribado. You remember Nuhu Ribado now, but he's a Special Advisor Security. But let's take a look at who is Nuhu Ribado, a retired Assistant Commissioner of Police, became the pioneer executive chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission in 2003 during President Obasanjo, former President Obasanjo, born November 1960 in Adamawa State, the former FFCC boss, regarded as a no-nonsense man, had one of the most remarkable tenures, which saw EFCC rise to become one of the most or foremost anti-corruption enforcement agency in Africa. He was the most dreaded man at that time. Ribado, during his time, successfully prosecuted many financial crime cases, including that of Tafa Balogo. You remember the then Inspector General of Police, who was convicted, jailed, and made to return about 150 million pounds under a plea bargain arrangement. Wow, interesting. And so Nuhu Ribado is back again in the news, and for this time, of course, is going to be an advisor when it comes to security issues, security matters for the President Tinubu. So there you have it. But let's take a look at the next person, Salma Ibrahim Anna, Special Advisor on Health. What does she bring on board? What does she bring on board? Let's quickly look at it. Dr. Anna is a public health especially with over 25 years of experience in health sector development, policy formulation, and strategic development. And until her appointment, she was the director of Family Health Services at the Federal Ministry of Health, where she leads important divisions like reproductive health, child health, and gender, adolescent, school health, and elder care. So you have it there. So she was also two-time Commissioner of Health in Borno State, where she led the state during the region's humanitarian crisis. Well, I think she would do well. Rising from the northeast there, I think from the hometown of Vice President, Shetima there. So I mean, Kashim Shetima, perhaps will be proud of her, to do him proud in these administrations. So that's Salma Ibrahim Anas for you, Special Advisor on Health. But let's quickly look at the next two person. First, Zacchaeus Adedeji, Special Advisor on Revenue. What does he bring in here? That Adedeji was a former Commissioner of Finance in Oyo State. He was the Executive Secretary of the National Sugar Development Council until his appointment as Special Advisor Revenue to the President. So he's also a graduate with the first-class degree in accounting from Obafemi Awolowo University in Ile-Ife, and is also an expert in corporate tax and public finance development. He also is certificate in comparative tax policy and administration from the Harvard Kennedy School. So this is Zacchaeus Adedeji, and perhaps it's going to be a good time for our president to really explore his expertise to see how revenue can be jacked up in the area of taxation.